It was an ordinary evening when Clint Eastwood and Sandra Bullock were invited to a live talk show known for its bold, often confrontational interviews. The show's host, Dan Blake, was notorious for pushing his guests into uncomfortable corners with his sharp, often rude questioning. Both Clint and Sandra knew what they were getting into, but neither of them expected the level of disrespect they would face that night. As the cameras rolled and the live audience cheered, Dan wasted no time. He looked directly at Clint and Sandra and smirked. "It's no secret that you two have been known for your traditional views on Hollywood and politics. But let's get real, don't you think it's time for you both to retire and make room for younger, more progressive voices?" The question hung in the air, and the audience waited for Clint and Sandra's reaction. Clint's face remained calm, while Sandra, never one to back down, narrowed her eyes. She could feel the tension in the room. Where are you watching this story unfold? Let us know in the comments below. Clint, with his usual calm demeanor, took a moment before responding. He leaned forward slightly, looking directly at Dan. "I've been in this business a long time, and I've seen trends come and go. What's considered progressive today won't necessarily be viewed the same way in the future," Clint said in his characteristic low, gravelly voice. Sandra added, "Hollywood is a place where people of all generations should have a seat at the table. Age doesn't define your ability to contribute, experience does. We've both worked hard in this industry, and we have a lot to offer." Dan, clearly not satisfied with their answer, tried again. "Sure, but isn't it time for the old guard to step aside and let the new, woke generation take over? Isn't that what the public wants?" Sandra shot him a look. "The public wants honesty, Dan. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no expiration date on a career built on passion and talent." The audience was silent for a moment, taken aback by their sharp, unapologetic responses. What's your take on their bold stance? Let us know in the comments below. Dan, unable to hide his frustration, tried to push further. "So you're saying that despite everything changing in the world, social justice movements, inclusivity, diversity, you don't think that Hollywood needs to evolve with the times? Isn't that a bit tone-deaf?" Clint's eyes flashed, and he responded with conviction. "You're asking about change, but what you're really asking is for people to conform to a specific ideology. Change is inevitable, but forcing everyone to think the same way is not the solution. Hollywood should embrace diversity of thought, not just diversity of appearance." Sandra nodded in agreement. "Exactly. It's not about being woke or progressive for the sake of it. It's about finding balance and truth in the stories we tell. We shouldn't sacrifice quality for trends." Dan's expression faltered, clearly not expecting such a strong, thoughtful response. "But don't you think some of your past views have contributed to some of the issues Hollywood is facing today?" Dan pressed, trying to regain control. Clint leaned back, unfazed. "I've always been someone who speaks his mind, and I don't regret that. It's not about agreeing with everything in the moment, it's about standing up for what you believe is right." Do you think Clint and Sandra are right? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. The audience was starting to get more engaged, as Clint and Sandra continued to assert themselves. They weren't backing down from the hostile questioning. Dan, realizing he wasn't getting the reaction he wanted, tried a new approach. "Alright, let's talk about something more personal. Some say you two have been reluctant to adapt to the new dynamics of Hollywood. Do you think you've become out of touch?" Sandra shook her head, her voice calm yet firm. "I'm in touch with the people I care about, my colleagues, my family, my fans. And Clint and I have both been around long enough to see how the industry changes. We understand it. What we don't understand is how pushing agendas is more important than telling a good, honest story." Clint nodded. "Films should challenge us, but they should never become a platform for promoting one agenda over another. The best stories are those that make you think, not just agree with the prevailing opinion of the day. Dan seemed to realize that his usual tactics weren't going to work. "I guess you two are still sticking to the old school way of thinking," he said with a sigh. What do you think about Clint and Sandra's defense of classic Hollywood values? Tell us in the comments below. Dan, now visibly frustrated, decided to wrap up the interview. He knew he wasn't going to get Clint or Sandra to concede anything, and the audience's reaction was leaning in their favor. As he ended the segment, he tried one last dig. "Well, it's clear you two are set in your ways. I guess some things just never change." Clint, without missing a beat, looked Dan dead in the eye and replied, "Not everything needs to change, Dan. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is stay true to who you are." Sandra smiled, adding, "And sometimes, standing up for what's right means challenging the loudest voices in the room, even if they don't want to hear the truth." The audience erupted into applause, and Dan, now defeated, quickly ended the show. Clint and Sandra's response had not only silenced Dan, but it had also reminded everyone in the room that staying true to oneself was more important than conforming to the latest trends. If you believe in standing up for what's right like Clint and Sandra, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more powerful stories like this one. Let me know if you need more stories.